Today's video finds us almost into Cambodia. We are way over here. We're over by Phnom Penh, I think is what you say. That's the border town between Thailand and Cambodia. We're about 35 kilometers north of there, and I came over here to see another one of the Khmer prongs that are over here in this area. It's Sa Sdok Kok Thom, and we're going to take a look at the historical park here. This is a very important Khmer temple. It has some inscriptions that really, whenever they were translated, they really opened up a lot of the Khmer history to the researchers. And the inscriptions date back to 1052, I believe, and it talks about a family that was like the main chaplains to the Khmer royalty. So we're going to take a look at this this prong and see what we see. This is the area. When you come down through here, it's all farmland. And then you come in, they have a nice parking lot. And it's the only people that are really here are the workers and a couple tourists. But they have a place over there for like some shops, they have bathrooms, and they have like a visitor center here. So these are all the workers that are just kind of hanging out, that taking a break from cutting grass. In this heat, it is like 39 degrees today. So let's go into the park. Okay, so before we go in, let's take a look at the information center. This has a little display and stuff like that in here. So they have an exhibition, and then they have some pictures of the temple when it was being restored. And they talk about the main point is the inscription stones. This is a replica of what it looked like. There was Sanskrit and Khmer writing on it. And they found it, or a Western explorer found it in 1901, a French guy. Etienne Almonier or something like that. And he was the first one to discover it for the Western world. And then they took one of these inscription stones and they moved it to a museum. They couldn't move it. They tried to move it with an elephant and they couldn't move it, but they finally got it moved in 1920. And then it caught, the museum that housed it caught on fire, and the water and the heat caused it to break, so it was destroyed. But they'd already done like a rubbing, so they knew all the inscriptions already. And then the second stone, it still survives. And it was originally named like Muang Prao or something like that, which was like the coconut temple. That's what the locals called it, because it was supposed to be out here in a coconut plantation, but it was surrounded by a forest, but that's what the locals called it. And then there's some more Khmer monument stuff. So here's a model of what it would have looked like originally. It had the center prongs and then the little libraries, and then over here would have been the baray, the water storage, and then the moats around the temple. And they talk about it over here, that it would have had right there, it would have had the Mount Kailash, which would have been the Mount Meru in Hindu, and then the water would have been the oceans, and it would have had the planets around. And it would have had the causeways. And then here's some of the restoration of the temple. Yeah, this is really a nice little visitor center here. And it shows some of the surrounding prongs. There's other prongs in this area, or prasats. And I might have to do some exploring here another day to see some of these. Here's the inscription stone, and they found all the little artifacts and stuff like that. And then those lintels. And they were talking that some of these lintels have been returned, that collectors outside of Thailand had them. And quite a few of them have been returned, and they are put in like museums and on display in different places in Thailand. So this is one of the lintels they have. And archaeologists can date the temples from these lintels, and they can see all the little scenes. They know exactly what sect of religion and everything came from the temple based on the lintel. And those are up above the doors. And here's some more of the pieces of the temple. Yeah, this is a nice little visitor center. So you have fragments of the temple, and then these, I think these are called like the colonnades. These are like the little columns that would have supported the lintels. They also put those in like the windows, and they would have just been carved into various things. You can see some of these. They would have had like little naga. No, those are lotus petals. And these are some of the fragments of the lintels. Yeah, so they would have carved all of this in there. There's like a 3-step procedure that they did. They were kind of a rough outlined, and then they would have carved into it to kind of give it more of its final shape, and then the final details would have been the 3rd step of carving those. The Khmer were amazing at working all these stones. So they had 2 things that they were really good at: water storage and water management, and carving these stones. So you have naga. Oh, these are great. And they would have been up on the front of one of the prongs. Yeah, this is nice. This is all the stuff that you would see way up high, but it's nice that you can get close and see all the little details. You can see here it has 5 little naga, and then these would have been other little figures all around up in here. Oh yeah, that's cool. And then here is a piece of the pediment. And these big rocks, they would have moved them with elephants probably. Would have been quite difficult to get them in place. Oh, that's the top stone there. All right, so let's go into the park itself. So the center prong, I guess, is 22 meters tall, and then the outer wall is 2.5 meters high. And there should be 2 libraries to see and some other things. So let's see what the admission is here. So the admission is actually free, so you just have to fill in the guest book, and then the guy up there, he does sell some water, so on a hot day like today, you can grab some water. So let's go in. This park is quite huge. So this would have been all gigantic trees. That's why stuff like this, the Khmer ruins, just were invisible to the outside world. The locals knew about them, but people traveling through, I mean, you wouldn't even see it because there would have just been trees all here. So just to the east of the temple, this is the baray. Now it has another name, but in the Khmer language, these are called baray. This is the water storage. So you can see it still holds water today. There's a little bit of water over there. It's dry season, so I'm sure during the rainy season, this gets quite a bit of water. And there's some people over there doing a little picnic, and they have some trees and stuff like that. So this is quite cool. I've never seen one in this good a shape before. So the Khmer kings were responsible for making sure there was enough water for the locals. So this would have been like the most important thing for this little community. Now let's go in here. So this would have been the causeway, and it has these little stone columns leading you all the way in. And we're walking towards the west right now. So the baray, which is fantastic, it's to the east of this ruin. Now I can already tell that they have quite a few new stones in this outer wall here. So they've had to replace them. So you can see here that they've used new stones on the bottom, and then they put like the old original piece up there. And while these here, these are completely new. I mean, it's a mix. They tried to use as many old stones as possible, but I mean, these weather out so bad. You can see this is the old stone again on top. It's still pretty neat. I like seeing this kind of stuff. And I'm not sure how long this is. This feels like it's maybe about 100 meters long, but we'll walk up here and we'll go into the ruin. And I can already see the walls over there. So 2.5 meters tall. And then they would have had the little lakes and stuff around here. You can see the indentations, and you can see the trees over there with termite mounds. Over there, that's a massive termite mound. Yeah, this is really cool. So here we are up to the outer gates, and you can see the wall, how it's kind of settled over the years. Now, some of these are faux windows like that. The Khmer did that. They put those colonnades, or whatever you call those, in the windows, but they would have been completely bricked off, and that would have been original. You see here they've incorporated quite a few of the new stones in. We can still see some of the original ones there. The new ones they haven't carved, they just put in place. Now the fine arts department came over here and restored this. I can't remember what year it was, but it wasn't too long ago. This was in terrible, terrible shape. So the gate is called a Gopura, I believe that's what they call those. And you can see the naga on the corner, and then this lintel here, the original part's on the left, and then the new stone is on the right. So it would have been broken in half. So they basically had to come over here and use this as a jigsaw puzzle. So you would have came in, the Khmer would have came in just like this, and they would have had like little places with some of their statues and stuff, like the little Shivas, and they would have done their ceremonies with pouring water, stuff like that. And then this would have probably been covered, and then this would have been another one of those, like it's kind of interesting. They had these like faux faces that were just made out of stone. You can see how it is right there. They're just kind of stacked up, and it sits, you know, on the top of the wall, like on the edge. And then you would have had to come over these thresholds. Now, I don't know if the Khmer believe like raising the thresholds up because of like ghosts and stuff, or if they did like the raised thresholds for, you know, keeping out like insects and things like that. I don't know. But I know the Thais, the temples, they raise the thresholds for like the ghosts, because the ghosts can't climb, so the ghosts like hit the doorway and they go around. So you can see here, here's where they would have had the moat in the inside. And then we have another little causeway with some more of these stones. And then there's more of the moat inside. And then you can see how this is. This is the Gopura on the east side, or the gate on the east side. And then you see these down here. These are the original stones for sure on the bottom. And then this is the inside. So this temple here was built by an important family that served the kings, the Khmer kings, for several generations. You can see all the inscriptions, stuff like that they have in. And then some more of the faux windows. And I don't know what they would have had here for these stones, like the steps to go in, or if this would have been the main, or the only entrance. Now this was an important temple in this area, and they think that there would have been a community all around here. I mean, it would have been the center religious building for something. And they have these over here. Now the houses that were all in this area were made out of wood and bamboo. So all of that would have deteriorated and would have been gone. So the only thing that's left are these stone buildings. Wow, this is fantastic. So this is a library. And then over here, this is the center prong, and that's 22 meters tall. Now you see it has three parts. It has the base, then it has the body that has all the inscriptions, has the lintel, all of that. And then it has 4 tiers at the top. And then at the very top is like the lotus bud. It's like a bowl that's supposed to collect holy water or something like that. And then inside that is the Shiva lingua. That's the stone where they would pour water on it. These, the big stones on the bottom were important because it's what gave it its strong base to where they could build these big buildings on it. Oh, these libraries are fantastic. So it's 2-tiered also. And the roof up here would have been stone originally. You can see the naga on the corner. And this was Hindu. And I don't know if it was converted into Buddhism or not. Most of the temples were originally Hindu, and then they converted to Buddhism as it became more popular. Now the Prasat Pimai was built like 1,000 years ago, and it was built originally to be Buddhist. And that's not too far away from here, actually. I mean, nothing's really too far away. Oh, these libraries are fantastic. So let's go in here and let's take a look at the main prang. You can see the white sandstone is incorporated, and then it has these stairs to go up. So this is a replica. So the Khmer would have dumped water on it, and it would have ran off that right there. And now they put some chicken wire. You can't really see up there, it's too dark. They put that up to keep the pigeons out, the pigeons and bats. Yeah, so this has been mostly reconstructed. All these stones are pretty new. The Khmer actually did a nicer job with fitting these stones. They didn't leave such big gaps. Oh, this is a nice view from right here. So standing on the steps in this prang, you can see the library there, and you can see that gate coming in, and then the second library, and then the inner wall, and then you can see the outer wall over there. Oh, this is fantastic. Now, I've been to quite a few of these Khmer temples. If you have some knowledge about some that I should go see, definitely tell me in a comment, because I'm always looking for something new to do, and stuff like this is absolutely fascinating to me. So if there's a couple Khmer ruins in Thailand that I haven't been to, I've been to the ones in Buriram. I still need to go to the one in Surin. That's the last big temple that I know about. But if you know some others, let me know also, and I'll do my best to find them and make a video of them. So I have a QR code here showing the animation of the restoration of it. Yeah, this is a nice look at it here. So the only entrance into it is on the east. The other three entrances are faux. They have them bricked off. So they would have designed it with an entrance, but then they would have bricked it off to where there's no access to it. And you can see the inner walls here. They have the Naga, all the little figures. And then let's take a look inside this library. Now the libraries would have housed some either important holy books, or they would have had like some minor like religious statues inside of it, or maybe both. So this would have been the inside of the library, and then it would have been an arch of stone. And you can see here when they've restored it, you can see they've labeled like all the new blocks that they've put in. And this would have been an original one over here, and then new ones all above. So I would say probably this library is probably 80% new. It's mostly new. It must have been in just absolute terrible shape. And the prang looks like it's about the same. And then the walkway. Walkway is probably about 50% new, 50% original. It's kind of interesting. They went to all that work to build steps up to a non-functioning door. And these humongous bricks here. Now if you go to like Kampeng Pet, all the temples are made out of these laterite stones. But here they used a combination of the laterite and sandstone. And then this is on the west side. So let's look up here, and then looks like we can't go very far though. So here they've actually built this to catch rainwater to drain out. It doesn't look like it's original. And they have a low doorway there. There's nowhere to go. They have it blocked off to where you can just kind of get up here and see how it looks. Now I'm not sure if this was built under which Khmer king. I'll put as much information down in the description as I can. I do know though that the inscriptions say the last important family member here, he became like an engineer. He went off to supervise the building projects. So they were no longer like the clergy for the kings. I believe right there, that's a replica of the stone inscriptions that they had. There would have been two of them that they had. So this is the last look here at that center prang, and then the library. And then this one here is on the northeast. Now we are so close to Cambodia here. On the other side of that baray is basically Cambodia. And then you can see here, this would have been the outer courtyard and these faux windows and stuff like that. All right guys, that's gonna finish up our video over here at this temple. There's nobody here. There was one other family kind of wandering around, and it's too good of a ruin to not be visited. To get over here, this is about 300 kilometers from Bangkok. I jumped on my motorcycle. I woke up at 6 this morning and rode my motorcycle over here to see this temple. I wanted to see it. But if you're doing a visa run, or if you're going to Angkor Wat and you're passing through Phnom Penh, it's 35 kilometers or so north of there, and it's worth a little side trip over here. It's also, if you're going to like Buriram or Surin, just jog a little bit south at Sa Kaeo, and you'll be able to get over here to it. It's in great shape. This is a really, really important temple as far as being able to go through the history of the Khmer. Those inscription stones really detailed like the daily life of the Khmer people, also the reigns of quite a few of the kings. I think the timeline covered 10 of the Khmer kings. So it's definitely an important temple to the history of the region. And it's just fun to come over here and see it. The baray is nice, that central prang is cool. These little walkways here with these little stone columns are really nice to see. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. And like I said before, if you know some of the Khmer ruins that I should visit, leave me a comment down below. Tell me some that are interesting, and I'll do my best to go find them and make a video. And if you know anything more about this that I forgot to say, leave me a comment down below. I'm always happy to read and learn a little bit more about this. And definitely smash the like and subscribe if you're new here. I go show you things that most people aren't showing on videos in Thailand. I mean, I'm not down doing like a soup review on Sukhumvit in Bangkok. I'm out looking around and enjoying the countryside of Thailand. So hopefully you like that. And like I said, if you like that, stick around and you're notified when I post a new video. And so anyway, from over here, almost in Cambodia, we're at this Khmer temple. Remember guys, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.